Hello, hello, and welcome to the Color Whisperer Show, where we talk about all things home and healing. And today we're going to talk about your home as a reflection of you. Your home is a mirror of who you are. What does that really mean? So, an easy example I like to give is when life gets kind of crazy. Let's say you get sick or there's something going on, and then you start maybe slacking off on some of the chores. Maybe the laundry doesn't get put away. Maybe the dishes pile up. And it's because there's a lot going on in your head. There's a lot of juggling balls going on in your head. And it's hard sometimes to juggle all those balls. And you feel like a juggler, and it's like, oh, I missed one. And you keep juggling. And I missed one. Next thing you know, all the balls are on the floor. And okay, it is what it is, right? So let's talk about, what does that mess really mean? Now, there is it's been a really long day. I'm tired. What do I do? I'm not going to do the dishes tonight. Sometimes doing the dishes at night, it feels like it can take 3 hours, and the same chore in the morning might take 10 minutes. So, sorry, I thought that was off. Let's make it go off. Okay, that's better. Distractions like that. See, that's what happens. You're juggling a bunch of things, and then something happens, like you get a text message, and it wasn't even a text message. I don't know what it was. It's just your phone makes a noise that you need to go check it. And, I didn't need to check it, but I wanted to silence it. And then you get distracted. And if you're trying to juggle a lot of balls, that distraction can be huge. And so this is what happens. We have a lot of these distractions in our day. How many times does your phone go off? How many times is it an unknown caller and it's somebody trying to sell you something? How many times is it you signed up for bought something, and, oh, can we send you a text message? They're having a sale. Like, does that really need your immediate attention? Most likely not. The phone rings and you answer it. Maybe it's a relative and they just called to say hi. So there's a lot of things, but maybe it's mom, and mom's older. You always answer for mom. There's a lot of things that can distract us and pull us in different directions. And this is, I got a gardener outside now. So we're constantly being pulled in different ways. So how do you juggle everything? Well, this is what happens. And when we get stressed, all these little things become big things, right? So on a day when you're not stressed, the gardener being outside, you may not even notice. You may not even hear. On another day, when you're trying to really concentrate, you're trying to do stuff, gardener being outside may be like, oh my God, I can't think, because you've got all these balls up in the air. You're juggling all these things. So let's talk about a few ways that it shows, because it's not just about the mess. That's one way it shows up. Sometimes it's from depression. Sometimes it literally is, I hate to say this because this word gets so overused in the wrong way, but it is kind of a lack of self-care. When you're depressed, one of the easiest things that stops is the house chores. Because when you're depressed, a lot of times you don't feel like you deserve to be taken care of, even if that's you taking care of yourself. And so it's like, there may be just a few dishes in the sink, but it may look like Mount Everest to you. Oh, I don't have the energy for that. Oh, what am I going to do? You do the laundry. Cool. And it sits in the dryer because it just feels so heavy. And then we all have chores we don't mind, and we have chores we do mind. So there's chores that you don't mind doing, those get done. But the ones you don't, they kind of sit and wait. So depression is one way that get our house as a reflection is it's a struggle to just keep going on.
It is a struggle to keep going on there and everything. I was just wondering, can you guess which one? Because you heard it earlier, is a chore that I don't mind doing, even though it did frustrate me earlier today because there is part of it that is very relaxing because I like the sound of the washing machine. That may be weird for a guy, but I do like the sound of the washing machine, except for when it's not working and everything. But I do like the sound generally of the washing machine. So I don't actually mind washing clothes. Sometimes I might even wash clothes more than I need to wash them because I like the sound of the washing machine. Unfortunately, the washing machine, as you were just saying, has to be tended to. So what I realized today is that the washing machine has and I got to call my maintenance person at some point, has got that slight clog because, washing machines have to be drained and everything. Otherwise, they don't dry as effectively and everything. So they have to be drained, and that happened one time before. And the nice little maintenance guy came and he drained the washing machine, and then it dried effectively again. But yeah, there was a time that it was not drying all that effectively because there's like a component that you have to drain, and I'm not sure how to do it myself.
Speaking of distractions, I gotta go get the doorbell. So tell them more about your thing. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
No, but like I said, that's one of the things that can be a distraction and all along those lines. But yes, I've got to get in touch with the washing people, and they will probably clear out the drain thing that's in the washing machine, and it will become a more effective washing machine. But yeah, I've had to do this. I think I had to do it. I've been in this particular apartment maybe about 2.5 years or something like that, and I've had to do it one other time. So I will send in a request. Hopefully they'll come and help me drain it so that it'll be an effective washing machine and all along those lines. But then there are other chores, like I don't mind doing the dishes. That can actually be kind of relaxing and everything like that. I'm not the biggest person in terms of vacuuming and things along those lines. So that probably will get put off, and that's probably not something good to put off and all along those lines. But yeah, there's all these different things that can be very distracting in that sense and along those lines. So definitely that's one of those distracting things that can take place. But like I was saying, I don't mind washing the dishes. That can be actually relaxing. But then I do know that the washing machine can lead to a clog within the whole piping system. So like I said, I'll call them at some point in the next day or two. They will make it a more effective washing machine again and everything. Not that it's ineffective, but it'll be more effective.
One thing I don't mind doing, laundry or the dishwasher. It doesn't work with dishes, but with doing laundry is I will put the laundry in at night or I'll put it in the morning. And I've been on a kick lately. I want my stuff to be sun dried. And so instead of the dryer. And so I'll let it dry during the day, or I'll put laundry in at night and I'll put it in the dryer at night. And then I wake up and it's all done. And it's like the maid came and they did the laundry. You can do the same thing with a dishwasher, but the maid sucks when she doesn't put it away.
That makes sense. You mentioned sun dried, and I remember when I lived in the house that Mom bought for me and my younger brother before he went and he's been married a couple of times before he got married, and then eventually has the house that he lives in now. And of course, he's engaged, and who knows when that engagement will take place, because it'll be wife number 3 whenever that takes place. But I know that they've had different things that they've had to go through and all along those lines. But when we lived close to Dad, I used to like to go next door to his house because he had a clothesline and it would be fun to put the clothes on the clothesline and to have them do that sun drying, because definitely sun drying definitely seems even more effective than the dryer drying and everything. But yes, for that same reason, I used to like to go over to his house and hang up some clothes on the clothesline and then watch them dry, let nature dry them for us, because it is almost springtime. I think I mentioned to you earlier that the groundhog said the winter will last longer, and I think it might be a little bit chillier today than it's been, but we've been actually having temperatures in late February in the high 60s and actually low 70s. I think yesterday we got up to like 74 or something like that. So we've been having some very non-February like weather, but we don't really have harsh winters anyway. I think usually the winters are around 50 or 60, but 70s is a little bit above normal. So we've been having some
it's
relaxing.
been 80s here. That's highly abnormal for February, March. It's almost March.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's March.
Tomorrow's March 1st.
Tomorrow's March.
And around the corner from March will be Easter. So I do understand that there'll be some people doing some Easter egg hunts, and they'll be decorating their Easter eggs and everything like that. And you do this other thing around color, and that used to be one of the things that I used to enjoy coloring Easter eggs, but that's not till April and everything. But I think that some friend of mine told me that they're already seeing Easter egg decorations in the stores, and this seems much too early for Easter egg decorations to be in the stores.
The stores, they just push the holidays crazy. So yeah, we need time to prep for everything. We need 6 months to prepare for Christmas, whatever.
Yeah.
I disagree with all that, and it's them just like trying to be ahead of the curve. So, but anyway, let's go back to the house being mirror of. So, I had a client one time, and her house was spotless. Like, she was so proud. She brought me in her garage, and she says, you could eat off the floor in here. It was the most organized garage you've ever seen in your life. And she was so proud of it. And all through her house, everything's perfectly neat. And then we get to the bedroom, and she says, and it's a mess. Comparatively, it's a mess. It wasn't a horrible mess, but comparatively, it was a mess. And she brought me in the guest bathroom, and she brought me in the master bathroom. And it was, there's stuff everywhere. It wasn't organized stuff everywhere, but there's stuff everywhere. The countertop was full. And she had told me when we went into the guest bathroom that this was now her husband's bathroom.
Okay.
And when we went into her bathroom, I said, well, this is why, because she mentioned earlier that he was a neatnik. We went in his office. He knows where everything is. Everything's in its perfect place, blah, 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 blah. And so everybody has their own level of clutter that they can handle. Well, when we went into her bathroom, what has become her bathroom, there's clutter everywhere. And no wonder, like, he made it very clear, this is not acceptable for me to live in. Now, he wasn't going to stop her and yell at her and make her feel bad. Well, I don't know that he didn't do that, but I didn't get that impression that he did that. Instead, he just left the master bedroom and the master bathroom, and he went into the guest bathroom and made that his. And so she'd done the same thing with the bedroom. And even when she brought me in here, she said, this is my room. And I was like, oh, really? Then she corrected herself, our room. Now, for all I know, I didn't see her for a long time. This was a virtual consultation. For all I know, he was already sleeping in the guest room. But I told her, I said, you do realize that this mess is pushing your husband away.
Right.
And she says, what? And I said, well, the bathroom is messy. And you already said that he left the bathroom and he's in the guest bathroom. So by you leaving the bedroom messy, you're telling him you don't want him in there. Oh, no. I would, if he left the bedroom, I'd be very upset. And I said, well, you've got a very simple answer. You've got to just clean this clutter up, because he's not going to deal with that. Now, for all I know, he'd already left the bedroom and the guest bedroom was his. And I've had clients before where they sit there and tell me, oh yeah, this is our bedroom, blah, blah, blah. And you find out later, like he's living in the guest room and she's got the master, or vice versa, whatever. So, keeping up appearances.
Mm-hmm.
But when I showed her that and I said, look, you're pushing him away. She went, oh, I don't want to do that. And I said, well, this is what you got to do to invite him back into the bedroom, to make him feel comfortable at home. And she's like, well, this is the only room that's messy. And I said, well, that's fine. Maybe you can choose another room that you can be messy in. But if you don't want him in here, keep doing what you're doing. They've been married for a long time. And sometimes when people are married for a long time, they just kind of get used to each other and they don't want to deal with a divorce, and they don't want to, they're not unhappy together, but they're just kind of happy living separate lives. And maybe that's what this couple was. I don't know. But it was very, very clear just by where she was putting her mess, what was important to her and what was more important than her husband. And if he was still in the bedroom and she didn't really realize this, we kind of do this with food, right?
Mm-hmm.
We say, oh, I need to go on a diet. But we still make that choice to go get the ice cream. We still make that choice to go fill it with clutter, even though what we want is healthier.
Okay.
What we want is better food.
Mm-hmm.
You get that craving every now and then.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and in that moment, you don't care. Nothing's more important than that piece of whatever chocolate cake or ice cream or cookie or whatever it is.
Not the Cookie Monster.
Oh, I'm a total cookie monster. I'm a terrible cookie monster. Oh, but so this is where our homes will tell us what our subconscious, or maybe what we don't want to look at. What we don't want to look at. You say you're on a diet. What's in your cupboards? Do you have a bunch of chips? I know somebody who she got her stomach, one of those stomach surgeries.
Right.
And she said, oh, I only eat healthy and I make my own bone broth and I do, I make all of the natural stuff and she does do a lot of stuff. But then you sit here and she's eating Cheez-Its half the day. I'm like, okay, well, that's not, you may make your own bone broth, which is great. But then if you balance that out with you're eating cheeses half the day, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And to go through that level of surgery to change something, it's not just a matter of making your stomach smaller. You still have to change what you eat. And I see a lot of people, they go through that stomach thing and then they lose and they get too skinny looking.
Yeah, that's true. Jeanette, I was having this question, and I'm glad we're having this show today, because this is a question that I have run across to a couple of times. How much do we have when we're doing interior designing, this notion of perception and everything? And I'm going to tell you where I'm going with this, and then you tell me if you've run across this even in your interior designing. I've run across a couple of folks, mostly ladies, but it's not always ladies. There's been a couple of guys too, but mostly ladies, that will tell you plain as day, because you will notice it, because we observe things in people's houses. So I have observed in people's houses, even in their virtual environments, plants, and there have been plants there. And then when you ask them about the plant, they will tell you that they have no green thumb. They don't know why they have the plant. They don't know what they're doing with the plant, and all along those lines. But I'm thinking that they have this perception that the plant gives them an air of coolness and everything like that. So I just wondering, do we sometimes get people that put things into their houses even though they don't necessarily have the skill set for it and everything like that? And if you've run across that in your interior designing, because I've run across this a couple of friends, and like I said, the plants look very interesting. I don't know if the plants are in the best healthy situation, because I don't know how much they're taking care of the plants, but the plants are there as part of their environment because it's hip.
Well, I don't know if it's because it's hip, but plants, maybe they were gifts given to them.
Could be.
And they tried. I was given a. I have a black thumb. All my plants are fake. I was given a gift of some flowers, little violets, purple flowers. I forget. It's been a long time, and it was my first apartment, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try to grow these, and I put them out. I spent way too much time watering these things, and it just wasn't. Eventually, after about a year, I said, they're not. It's dead. I'm throwing them out. I tried, but plants are very healthy for us in our environment. First of all, they do make great accessories. The colors, I mean, there's so many things that are great about them. Having a live plant in your house can improve the air quality. It is healthy for us to have spider plants, particularly, are really good at improving the air quality and decreasing the stress level in the house. So that's a good kind of spider you want in your house, right?
Right.
And they're relatively easy to take care of. And I have some plants that you don't even dare say the words fake plants to them. Like, that's just not. And others are like, I got a black thumb. And so we'll do fake plants. I have some great resources for fake plants. They look real. The one I have in this room is not the world's greatest. Let's see, that doesn't work. I don't know which camera we're using. But I have a tree in my dining room, which I've done a couple shows in my dining room, and you've seen the tree. It looks really good. It really is a nice tree. And so there are some good ways to do fake plants. But there's a lot of reasons people do plants in their home, and really it's better health for us. And so even if you have a black thumb, it's still worth trying to do that, to increase the air quality, to relieve stress. And it's not, I mean, I'm sure people do stupid things.
And I think at least one of the people likes plants in general. I just don't know that they know how to grow plants, because I also noticed that they are part of the tattoo culture, and some of their tattoos are of plants. So I think they have a affinity for plants. I just don't know that they have a ability to maintain plants, because of course you ain't got to maintain the plant if it's a tattoo. You just got to make sure that it doesn't deteriorate too much in the tattoo space, but you don't have to maintain.
People do a lot of things because they see it on television and it's trendy. Right. And my stance on that is never do anything just because it's trendy. Do it because you resonate with it.
Right.
And my Facebook feed is full of all these like really interesting chairs, and there's this site I'm on that they create these gorgeous chairs. And I think they're all AI. I don't know, but they say they're not for sale. So I'm guessing they're AI, and they're stunning. And maybe they're not functional. I don't know, but they're beautiful pieces of art, and they're made out of wood. And the things, and so I'll post them and say, hey, look at this. This is gorgeous. I saw, what did I just see yesterday? It was very cool. It looks like a coffee table, and it is shaped like a shell. So on the outside, it's oblong. On the inside, it's a shell. So when you have animals that are afraid of loud noises, they can go into this, there's like an entrance. They go in, they can go around into the middle of the shell, and it protects them from, it's got all kinds of acoustic stuff in it. So they don't get the loud noise as much. And, I was looking at that going, do I need one? I got 3 cats, but I don't think my cats are afraid of the noises so much. So but there are dogs. I mean, there are some people, their animals are very, very afraid of loud noises. Mm-hmm. And this is a great way. It looks like a cool piece of furniture. And yet it's a really great way to protect the animals. So I thought that was pretty cool. I saw another thing. It was a bed. So when I was in high school, we read this short story. I believe it was Ray Bradbury called The Veldt.
Okay.
And so this is like 1986, 84, 85 ish. And technology was a little bit different back then.
Much
If
different.
a big screen TV was something, more than 24 inches, right? There's only a few people had the really big screen TVs, and that was very, very rare. So anyway, and the quality of those big screen TVs, I did have a friend who had one of those big screen TVs that had these big light bulbs on it. It was huge, and the quality of the picture was terrible. So anyway, the story is about these children, and they have this room, and in this room it becomes is what we would call today a completely virtual room.
Right.
All six walls, the floor, the ceiling, and all four walls were basically a movie screen, and they could say, where do I want to be? And it would create that virtual reality. Now, back in 1985, we didn't know what virtual reality was. And that's when I read it, and he wrote it before that. I don't know when it was. And one of their favorite places that they liked to go was the African Veldt, hence the name. And so this was a bed that was along those lines. It had a headboard that turned into a canopy. So you're laying in bed and you've got the screen behind you and above you, and it kind of curled up a little bit. So it covered a good chunk of the bed. So you could create, I want to look at stars tonight. I want to look at, whatever you want to look at, it would create for you. And I thought that was, definitely a very interesting use of our virtual technology that we have now.
Mm.
So there's all kinds of fun stuff that you can do in your home, and it's got to resonate with you first and foremost. During COVID, everything was white, 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 because every time we turned on the news, every time we went into a store, somebody was telling you, you're dirty, you're dirty, you're dirty, you're dirty, you're
You had
dirty.
to wear white on everything. Actually, a friend of mine one of my coworkers is not at work today because they've got a case of COVID. So they're doing that whole stay at home thing right now and everything. Because I just found that out because they called me about something else and they were like, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" I was like, "You're going to be there?" They're like, "No, I'm under COVID lockdown." So they're under COVID lockdown and everything. I did have a question about your cat and everything because the cat has appeared occasionally on the show and everything, and I was not sure because I've been very fascinated by some of these lovely animal commercials. Is your cat because you mentioned the furniture, is your cat a leaper? And does the cat leap like onto the refrigerator and onto the oven? Or is your cat, say, on the ground level? Or is your cat one of those cats that likes to go all over the place and be a gymnastic cat?
Well, first of all, I do something that some people consider heinous, which is I let mine outside. And I know people that think that I'm the world's worst cat mommy because I let them outside. But I have one cat. First of all, they all started outside. They were all like
Right.
they didn't come from, I didn't go to the store and buy any of them. They found me and they adopted me because that's what they do. And so they'd been outdoors on their own for quite some time before I got them. And my one cat, which I don't think you've seen Dickon. Dickon's usually outside right now, and he loves to climb trees. That's his favorite thing to do. He loves to climb trees. He climbs on the roof. They I won't say they stay mostly in the yard, but because they do have a space where they're allowed to roam, to explore, um, they they're really very good inside the house. I don't have any issues with them inside the house. My Pixie, she's the one you've seen, and she's not as adventurous. She's very
Mm.
happy. You know, she loves boxes. Oh my God, does that cat love boxes? Anytime a box comes into the house, um, she's all over it. So, you know, usually I have to let them sit there for a little while and then, you know, they can do their purpose going in or out, whatever that may be. Um, I do have a client who, you know, their cat does not get let out, and they had a reason for it, which was good, but I don't remember what it was right now. And that cat has, when I walked up to their house, I worked on their house several years ago, and we're just starting a new part of the project. And I walked up to the house and I saw the lining on the drapes in the front window and it was all ripped. I was like, what is that about? And they do have the cat tree right next to a valance that's got a wood top on it. So it does jump there, but I would move the cat tree if that were me. And we haven't got there yet, but I'll suggest that we move the cat tree because there's only about this much space from the top of the valance to the ceiling. So from the top of the cat tree to there, that's an easy jump. But from the ground to that, I'm thinking it's not an easy jump. So I think moving the cat tree could solve a lot of problems. For all I know, they've tried it. We haven't had the conversation yet. But that cat does do a lot. So, you know, cats, they need to be entertained. And you've got to have toys for them. You've got to, if you've got a cat inside, you've got to, you know, they are hunters. You know, we don't want to think of them as hunters, especially if you've got this cute, cuddly little kitten in your house and it never goes outside. But they are hunters, and they need to have that feeling of hunting. And so whether it's chasing a ball or they do need to be entertained, and it's not by watching TV.
You mean they can't watch the commercials and get excited off of watching our television, everything? Because sometimes I think the cats are watching the cat commercials.
You know, I haven't really noticed mine care about any of that stuff. I they might, but I haven't really noticed. You know, if I'm sitting still, I usually will have one on my lap. It's not very often I'm sitting still. So, but if I curl up on, you know, there's usually one near me, and if I'm watching television, then, you know, are they with me or are they watching TV? I think they're just with me because they'd be there anyway. So, all right, I hear some knocking again, and apparently today is just not going to work out. We've done half an hour, so I think we're going to let the distractions win today. And
no, you had a good show, and you talked about the things that are going on and everything, and the colors, and all along those lines. What advice, just really quickly, and then we'll wrap up and everything, would you give for people that are thinking about spring designs? Because that's what I said we were going to talk about. Because I know sometimes people are thinking that they got to add a certain color because it's springtime, and springtime is around the corner. It's in March.
Well, I think I have to get. I have to get this. They're still knocking. I think we'll just have to save that for the next show.
Okay, we'll save that for the next show. We'll get to the spring show because they're knocking on the door, and we're having some distractions. So we'll have a 30-minute abbreviated show, and we'll have Can Do Spices to close out because food is wonderful, and we love Can Do Spices and everything. So we'll have some Can Do Spices, and we'll join back. I think it might be another show of next week because I think you've got an appointment, but we'll be back in the second week in March with some exciting conversation about spring and all the wonders of spring. And by that time, we might even have people talking about their university colors as well, because we'll be heading into like March Madness and sports and all of that. Because sometimes people get.
We won't talk about sports on my show.
I know, I'm teasing you. I was teasing you. I was going to see if we were going to go there. I had to get a good laugh from Miss Jeanette. I knew that would get a good laugh from her. I love that smile going and everything like that. But we will talk about some spring and some lovely clouds, maybe even cloud formations, but everything like that. But we're going to get out of here and let her answer the phone. But right now, let's have some Can Do Spice.
You know how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Can Do Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can Do Spice. Everyone should be having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can Do Spice a try.